So now we can play around and do some really cool animations. Let's set this to 90%. So we have some transparency going on. And now we can create some really dope animations. Super hyped for that. So we got a pretty cool setup. This is looking cool, man. So this turns out even cleaner than I expected, to be honest. Because I was about to do it pretty dirty and to place everything pretty dirty in 3D space. But then I came up with this idea, and yeah, that's how it goes. Like, to be 100% honest, I just came up with the idea of placing everything 100% correct. The technique I just teach you, I just came up with it, and I think it's pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited actually. So with that technique, you can place everything like perfectly, so you have a perfect carousel. Because in the carousels before, you might haven't seen it, but it was pretty dirty sometimes. And yeah, this is 100% clean. So let's animate this carousel. All right, here we go. I just had one more idea I wanted to add for the UI. I'm creating a new rounded rectangle shape here at the bottom. I want to like really thin, something like that. We call that bar. And let's have no stroke for that, and fill color, make like a lighter white, something like that. I think that's pretty cool, and adds some more flair. Center it, and maybe set the opacity to 90. And let's copy this one, Command C, and just paste it everywhere so they all look the same. Nice, 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 nice. All right, cool. Now we have them all placed, and it's time to animate. Guys, exciting stuff. So, nice. Okay, cool. So let's see how we can make this up. I'm making that motion, like something like that. So it should appear maybe from that card here. So what I was thinking, to actually animate the position and the scale. So if we animate the position and the scale of our solid, the rotation solid here, then it automatically applies to everything here. So let's scale this one down to 0. So everything is at 0, and the position down to the SD card. And let's see how that looks. Yes, I think that could be the case. Yes, so let's smooth that. Curves, something like that. Boom. Let's do the same for the scale keyframes. All right, what is going on here? Let's ease out, and this one ease in. Yes, have a look. All right, try to really match that. So this is going way faster, so let's crank it up to the beginning, more like that. So but here the scale happens too fast. I want to actually match that. But one thing we can do, which makes it look pop out even better, could be, let's delete these keyframes. Well, the scale is actually okay, but no, let's delete them. And let's recenter the anchor point of the solid to here. And let's create a scale keyframe, 0 to the max scale. Now let's ease out and ease in again, and let's see how that looks. This probably looks better. Yes, that definitely looks better. So let's move the curves. Nice. It can happen way faster, and let's match my motion. So here I already open my hand, so even earlier. Yes, that's pretty cool. Let's match the final position even more. Let's turn off the red solid for a second so we see what we're actually doing. All right, so one more thing I thought is like when it's popping up, I think it should spin in some way, right? So let's open up the rotations here. And let's see, what if the X rotation here is the correct one and we are coming from something like that to pop up. Yeah, something like that. And even have something like -5 or even -8. I think -5 is okay where we end up. So we can actually scale it down a little bit more. Oh, this is some fine tuning, guys. This is some fine tuning. What if we like smooth these curves as well and make sure they are similar? I know, I don't think that's looking too good. So let's change that again. But what we could do, let's select all of them and open up the opacity. Keyframe the opacity, and at the beginning we are setting it to 0. And now we are going to ease out all the keyframes and also to ease in the other ones. Yes, here, ease in. And let's move them a couple of frames with a delay. This could look cool. Maybe we have to change the delay length, but I think making them appear like that could look really cool. So maybe a bit faster. Something like that. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Now I'm just playing around to see what could potentially look good. Like in general, we need them to appear faster. So like maybe just 1 frame delay, like a really slight delay. The other option I think of was upscaling each single content piece for its own, which also looks pretty cool, I think. These ones in. Yes, and yes. How does that look? Now we can start a bit later. Even a tiny bit later, but that's way better than the beginning. Yes, this is pretty cool. Turn off the rotation. But I don't know. It doesn't look too 100% cool to me. So let's just add the opacity of 90 here and go back down to 0 at the beginning so it smoothly comes in. Yeah, that's way better. Worth a try. Always worth a try. Maybe it works for your footage, so it is good that you have seen it, how I would create something like that. But I'm going for the clean one. I think I'm going for really that clean one. Yes. Let's see the full size, how that looks. I think we should move that Keanu Visuals thing further down actually and go down in size. So appears here. Let's make it like really small. Not really small, but like smaller. How does that look? And now we can, I think we can move everything, like the wheel here, more down. Yes, looks cooler. Well, let's animate some spin, I would say. Yes, that's cool. Nice. So now let's open up the rotation here and let's decide where we want that spin to happen. Like, I think it should already spin in on that first few seconds. Something like that, when it spins in. Yeah, something like that maybe. And let's smooth that keyframes like that. Boom, boom. Nice. We just need one view for now. And let's make it fit to the window size. Yes, I think that's pretty cool. So we're going up. So let's say we are here at minus 40. So it's like more spinning in. Yeah, we give them more time to spin in. Like even more maybe. Let's say minus 100. Why not? Let's have that spin. Cool. And now here we should spin even further up the direction. Maybe want to see that shot? Is that cool? Here. Nope, let's see some other shots. Maybe this shot is cool. And let's also smooth that curve. So we have a clean animation. So it seems like I'm really like wiping it, like boom. Yeah, like make it even more. And here we need to swipe again. And this one is not the selection yet. So we need one more swipe. So okay, from here we swipe in again. And here we should be at the next clip. This one maybe. Here. Let's smooth that curves again. Try to really match that hand movement. And one more swipe. So here one more swipe. And we turn it again. Nope, not that way, that way. Yes. Want to see that shot? Yes, please. Oh no, did I turn in the wrong direction? Probably. Yes, I did. Sorry for that. Please, the other way around. Yeah, let's have that shot. Because here we need to do something different anyway, because I want to create that loop, right? So the last swipe would be the swipe to the transition shot, which I'm selecting here. Boom, selecting the transition shot. So first of all, let's see if we need to adjust some stuff. I think so. It just begins too early. So we have that swipe, but let's start from here. Let's copy this one as well because it swipes too early. And now I can actually fix that with changing the speed graph here. So it looks more natural, I think. Yes, definitely better. Because it's stopping for a second and then we swipe in again. Yes. We're swiping again, like here. A little bit earlier. Like here maybe. Here, please take some time to really adjust that curves, you know? So everything looks cool and good and really matches your hand performance. So here again, but later. That's cool. Nice. Okay, this is looking pretty good. let's have a full view of what we have just created. So yeah, we're just changing the Y rotation here on that rotation. Rotation. Why didn't you say something? This is no rotation. This is a rotation, like this, right? Rotation. Fixed it. Man, that was weird. All right, cool. And let's turn on some motion blur for that layers too. So if they move, we want to see some motion blur, right? Boom, just like that. You can see we have motion blur. Now that's a difference. So if we have the motion blur turned off and they spin, they're sharp. But that's not how the real world works, right? So if they move, we need motion blur and we don't need to animate anything. We just have to activate it here on the layer and then the comp, and boom, we have some good looking natural motion blur. Yes, I think this is not too bad. Let's have a full playback and see what we have created. Yes, this is looking pretty cool, man. Not gonna lie, I didn't know it turned out that good. So if you create the same effect again, it's pretty cool to see how you increase. Like this is a whole different level now, how like my workflow and the ideas I come up with, comparing to the first version of the HUD card. So, but that's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing. It's like, it's just different. Actually, it's a good thing because you can see improvement. And I love that first video I created, but this one just, yeah, just cleaner. It just looks cooler, you know, in my mind. So hopefully you enjoy that too. And that full process here. Nice. Okay, I think there's one spin, which isn't correct yet. So let's see, boom. Oh, let's come from the other side. Yes, that's cool. So let's go for the rotation. Let's set it to 100. So we actually come in from the other side. You see that? Boom, boom, boom. I think the bar is way too big of all of these carousel content pieces I've created earlier, which I thought was a good idea. It was a good idea, I think, but make this one smaller, guys. I don't know, 60. 60 is okay. And lower the opacity. It's just a detail, you know? Yes, way better. Man, what did I? Oh, like this is huge. Okay, boom. Let's just change that for all the other clips as well. Yes, 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 please. Nice. Okay, quickly fix that. Yeah, way better. It was so distractive. Okay, so I'm thinking we maybe can also add some more rotation, not just the Y rotation. I think we can also add some X rotation maybe. That could be pretty cool. So let's see, X or Z. Maybe even Z. Like let's come in. Let's come in like that. That cool. Let's see. Oh yes. Ooh, I love that. That's nice. Let's give that a little extra twist. Nice. That's cool. And for that second spin here, we might can add some C rotation as well. Let's copy that and let's go something like that. Maybe that's cool. Oh yeah, that's giving it that extra. Man, I like that. And let's move the keyframes. Ease out and ease in. Easy ease. And let's even increase their size a little bit. Ah, no, that's too much. Let's just do it only for the spin. But that's even too much. We just need like a tiny bit, maybe 5. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And this one for the spin as well. Maybe we're going, but here for +5. Yes, let's ease out, ease in. So I'm actually just doing it for that small spin, but also adding this axis a little bit. I don't know, it just feels a bit cooler, I think. Nice, let's do the same here again. Let's actually copy these ones, just add them here. Damn, it's overlapping the Keanu visuals. Oh, this one has to be way faster, something like that. Yes, but let's go here for a -5. So we're not overlapping the Keanu visuals one. That's way better. That's super cool. Nice. We just have some moments in that edit. They're not 100% yet, I think. So we need to spice them up a little bit more. Maybe this one, because like for 1 second nothing happens. But this is pretty cool. We just have to fix one more thing because we want to create a transition, right? So we are actually selecting this layer, and this layer has to fly into our camera. Okay, that's pretty nice. So now I actually want to create a transition, and I thought I can use this last clip I'm turning in for a transition. This one here, which is number 9. Yes, it's actually number 9. So I'm thinking about how we can transition into that one. Maybe we can just add a color which is not in our video at all, which could be pink. So so let's cut this one in here. So for that last spin, it comes in. So actually it can come in here. So here. No, actually here. Here it can start to come in. Here. Yes. So let's animate this with the position, and let's bring this one in. That's the final position, and before we have it somewhere like here, and let's bring this shape in. Hopefully we can select this one with pipette. Oh yeah, sorry. We also use this one as a mask, but it has the same size. Yes, that's good. So now it's spinning. Boom. And the color comes in, and now I'm selecting this piece. We can also do animation here, so it actually pops up when I select it. So let's ease in and ease out these again. Ease out, ease in, and now ease. Nice. Okay, cool. So let's, now we have that. Let's for a second create a new main comp, and let's say this is the final render. And in here, we can create that transition actually. And I want to transition into that clip. Yeah, let's make a cut here with Command-Shift-D. And actually search for that color here and apply the key light. Boom, let's use that color. Oh. Okay, pink is not the best color. We have a lot of pink going on, apparently. Let's add another color to that. Let's add the effect fill. I don't think we have blue. Do we have blue? Let's go into the final render comp and choose the color blue. This is looking better. We don't have any blue here, I think. So that looks like a solid. Yeah, it's tracking pretty good. So we don't have any blue here and here. Are happy. We don't have any blue. Well, we have blue here. Oh yeah, it's getting the blue here. Damn. What else color do we have? Yellow? Do we have yellow? Red, of course we have. Or like something like that. Like a dark blue maybe. Don't have dark blue. Like this. Do we? Let's check. Let's go into the main comp. Here, final render. And let's use that color. I think that blue was actually not bad. Let's use that blue as the main color. Go into the final render comp. And here we are going to add the key light. So cut the clip first, and I'm going to add the key light here. Apply the color blue. I just copy the color code. Okay, just use pivot tool. Okay, we're turning off that looks again because it's just confusing the track. So I actually want to transition into that, but I don't want to take out the blue here, you know? But I think we can make it come in a little bit later. So we don't affect the background. We can actually, yeah, create a mask around the layer like that. And now we are actually feathering it with 10 maybe. And click the mask path. Yes, make sure everything is selected. Move it. Yes. So it works for you. Boom. This is not the cleanest solution, to be honest, but it's going to work and no one is going to see what we've done there. Okay. Okay, let's correct this as well. Okay, boom. Boom. Okay, so now we have that mask here, and you wonder, Keanu, what the heck you're doing there? But you're gonna see the magic in a second. We're gonna duplicate that clip. Boom. With the mask. And now for the bottom one, bring up the mask and invert the mask. And for this one, we are increasing the mask expansion to around 10. Oh no, mask expansion to minus 20. Yeah, that's filling the gap here. Yes, and now you see we can now go in here, guys, and just transition in, which is pretty cool. Well, actually, this could come in after we have done the, like now it should come in. Something like that. It looks even cooler because it seems like we are selecting it, clip, like that. Oh no, a second later, not even a second. Yes, something like that. Nice. We select a little bit later. Now here maybe. A little bit earlier. Come on, that's it. Okay, nice. And now you see, because I did that mask in the areas around it, it's not going to affect the key light because now on that layer here, we can actually delete it. Boom, and the blue is back and we still get our mask here because this layer is only affected by the key light, you see? Boom, so we have the blues still here. And this is the best solution I was coming up with to create this transition into that frame. So I'm selecting that, cool, and then we go in. Okay, in there like swimwear. Yes, let's pre-comp that. Okay, and this one we can do create a 3D layer with. So that's the beginning we want to go in with. So I want that to be the first second. So it starts when you open up social media like that. So we know here I'm going to put that that first seconds I'm going to put at the end because I want to start a loop, you know? And let's drag that back. That's where we want to start. Yes, perfect. And here, now from here on, we need that clip. So now we know how long the transition can be. That's it. That's all we have for the transition, which is not really long, but that's not a problem. Boom, that's it. So here we need to be in that clip. So now let's create a camera. Okay, works for me. We're going to effect 3D layer, which is this one is a 3D layer because I want to go in here. Let's turn this layer off for a second. And now let's keyframe the camera. So we're going in that area where which is transparent. Perfect. Let's open the second view. And we did our keyframes at the beginning here. And at the end, we want to be all the way in there. Now let's open the back view, camera again. And we want to be in here. So let's open the left view again. I love the second view to just adjust the cameras. So now we created, so now we going in there. See that? Boom. Boom. Yeah. We can even go a little bit more to the left probably. Something like that. It's now ease them out. Ease out. And this one ease in. And let's see how the keyframes look then. Boom. Okay, that's not good. Let's go with that. Delete them. Here at the end, I just want to be more at the left. Here. Wow, we need to move more to that side. Yeah. Yes. Okay, and we can create some C rotation when we're going in. Maybe something like that. The end. So let's match it. So that looks cool. And now let's smooth all of these curves so they look way smoother. So let's smooth that graph here so it happens more effectively. Boom. Move that one too. And smooth the point of interest too. Boom. Boom. Okay, nice. Let's see what we've done. Okay, let's turn on the second layer at the bottom as well. Okay, nice. So we can actually make that transition longer because it's like really abrupt. Let's do something like that. Yeah, that's way cleaner. And now at the end here, we can, like, that's the last frame. We're just dragging in that slider up here at the top. And with Shift, you can make a like clip to your selection here. And just press Command, Shift, and X. So now we actually cut the composition to the composition length we want. Let's see if that transition is clean. I think that's pretty solid for now. Let's check that playback. Let's also turn on looks again, like the, yes, now we can turn it back on again. Let's see, maybe there we should add something there and maybe add some tabs in the background as well. So we have more depth. And there's like 1 second, we need some motion blur. So I just turned on motion blur here on the layer. So if we go in there like really fast, you know, see, now we have motion blur, which is pretty important. But the first second here, for like 1 second, we don't see, there's like nothing behind it. So we duplicate that clip and just freeze time freeze frame. And now we can just drag it out. So the first second, we can see that there's something nice. Okay, cool.